Hello and welcome to my video on the case study about language and vocabulary. A short video in regards for our early childhood education 540 class. So after reading the case study that was provided to us, the 5 senses and a fall theme generate language, a letter from Jane Rusa. I looked at the theories of language acquisition that the teacher used to incorporate in her fall theme that she generated to help language. So one theory that she used was John Dewey's progressive education, also known as child-centered learning. Miss Rusa used the language acquisition for child-centered learning, which is the curriculum is based on the child's interests and experiences. So kind of focusing on the child, not really giving a set curriculum or packet that the teacher will follow. It's more going based off of the children's interest, using things from home, having them give examples that they find from home, learning through play. So learning through play and interest mentioned before. So children are learning language acquisition naturally as they play with their peers and using real life examples and activities from their home and in school. And this also encourages social interactions, which is key to learning. So the conversations that they have, interacting with others, interacting with the teacher, that she gives a lot of examples of when they separate them into groups. And then as she notices that the children may have a hard time explaining it, she may give them some examples as well. So some strategies that she used, as mentioned before, were play-based learning. So she used a lot of using all their 5 senses, making it fun, making interactive, making it interesting for the children, finding things that they can hear, smell, touch, taste, describing it, having different groups do it together. The entrance-based instruction, so again, using what the children are interested in, providing a general guideline of using something that they think of fall, of what their idea of fall is, and then using one of their senses and either applying that to things that they have at home that they can come and share, or things in the classroom or outside that they're seeing. Theme-based curriculum, again, so this is really great because it captures all the vocabulary specific to that theme. So they could be talking about fall, they could be talking about leaves, the color red, orange, yellow, the changing pattern of leaves in the fall, things like that. And a lot of her experiences here include a lot of active participation. So the children are up and moving, they're learning, they're reading, they're going home and they're looking at it, they're using that school-home connection as well. So there's an active participation within the children as well. In the case study, some accommodations that I noticed that Ms. Rusa could use for the different languages that her children could be experiencing in the classroom, some accommodations that are more child-centered strategies and use more inclusiveness are scaffolding. So there's an example in the case study vignette that describes that in every opportunity to the classroom, the teacher helped in some words with scaffolding so that descriptions to help them get descriptions started. So that way the teacher was also providing that help to help the children describe what they were looking at, what they were seeing, what they were tasting if they were unable to do so. So that way they were also doing that new vocabulary and language acquisition. I'm using small groups again, so small groups, that way the children can work smaller, they have more attention to each and every one of them compared to a larger scale. Social interactions again is a big one. Kids can group up together, so the ones that have the better language acquisition in their native language can help the other children also kind of translate that for them, so that'd be good. And that would also be in a way for the children to remain comfortable and be able to learn better. That kind of goes into point number 5 with the supportive environment, so that way children are comfortable, they're safe, they're happy, they're able to learn in an environment that is supportive to them. And then lastly, I'll talk about interests and themes again, focusing on what the children are interested in, what they're gravitating to, how they're learning the language that is related to the things that are interesting in them. And lastly, some additional strategies and ideas to help Miss Roos in the classroom to develop language and vocabulary is interactive reading aloud, so included with asking questions, discussing pictures, and introducing vocabulary specifically when you're reading aloud and starting a new book or theme. Storytelling and retelling, so this is really good to have the children kind of retell the story back to them, to you, to kind of help in their own words, to help with reading comprehension or just comprehension in general. And then lastly, kind of some problem solving or some songs and rhymes and chats. So utilizing music and repetition to build that vocabulary. So using music to kind of help them build that vocabulary as well. And that is it for my presentation for this case study. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for your time.